Hi guys, this is Regina Foster. I'm going to do a demonstration of some of the types of problems that you will see in the Unit 1 homework assignment for physical science. So, for example, one of the things that's covered in Chapter 1 is units conversion. So there are several units conversion problems on the homework assignment, and also just an understanding of what the term unit means. So a unit is just something that we use to measure something else. So standard units are really important in science so that when we talk to each other, everybody knows what everybody else is talking about. And we have a couple of different unit systems that we use in this course. English units like the pound and the foot, and also metric units, the meter, the kilometer. So part of what takes place in Chapter 1 is a comparison of those two unit systems. So, for example, when you're doing a units conversion problem, like with all problems in science and in math, you want to keep track of the units you're using, because a unit is kind of like, you may have heard people talk about, you can't add apples and oranges. Well, you can if you think of them as pieces of fruit, which is an equivalent unit, but you can't if you think of them as apples and oranges. So units have to match in order to add or subtract or do any kind of mathematical operation with them. You have to keep track of what happens to those units. So we think about that when we do these problems. For example, let's say that you have something that has a mass of 525 grams. So the gram is a really tiny unit, and when we're measuring small masses, we might measure them in grams. But if things weigh very much, then the number of grams you're talking about is going to be really large. So it might be more effective to use a unit of kilogram instead. So if we want to convert grams to kilograms, then the first thing that we need to know is how many grams are in a kilogram. And if you look up the meaning of the prefix kilo, you see that kilo means 1,000. Or sometimes this is written 10 to the third, which just means 10 times 10 times 10, which is the same thing as 1,000. So it turns out that there are 1,000 grams in a kilogram. So that information can let us go from grams to kilograms mathematically by just putting the unit that we have at the beginning and the quantity over 1, because you can put anything over 1, and then using a conversion factor of the equivalency between the unit we are at now and the unit we want to go to. So in this case, it takes 1,000 grams to make a kilogram. And since when you're doing mathematical operations with fractions like this, you can cancel units that are on the top of this fraction and the bottom of this fraction. In this case, we want our equivalency written so that the gram number, 1,000 grams, is on the bottom and the kilogram is on the top. This lets us cancel out the gram unit, and leaves us with an answer that will be in kilograms. Mathematically, to get the answer, this is multiplying fractions, so you have 525 times 1 on top, which is 525, and then on the bottom we have 1 times 1,000, which is 1,000. So this is a fraction that we can change into an actual number by taking 525 divided by 1,000, and the answer ends up being 0.525 kilograms.